Hey everybody, so I just got a notice on my phone from WPBF, which is the Palm Beach, Florida news station, that they have closed 3 of my local beaches in Martin County. I actually live in St. Lucie County, I'm about a mile or 2 up the road from the Martin County line, and they closed Bathtub Beach, Stewart Beach, and Jensen Beach to swimmers because of the blue-green algae problem. So I'm on my way to check it out, see what it looks like. I'm also going to stop at the causeway since I have to cross the causeway anyway to get to these beaches, because I want to see if this algae has actually got into the causeway as well, because I fished the causeway and I was planning on going fishing one more time before I actually leave Florida for good. More on that later, but yes, we are moving. Going to be moving back up to Rhode Island, so I'm on my way. And if you don't know the problem of the blue-green algae down here on the east coast of Florida, they claim that the algae is being caused by the discharges from Lake Okeechobee into the St. Lucie River, and that river runs from the lake all the way through the center of the state to the east coast of southern Florida, empties out near Stewart area. So and then once it empties out there, it's into the causeway, and it also gets into the coastline, the oceanside beaches. Now the 3 beaches are oceanside beaches, they're not the causeway. So, but we're going to stop at the causeway as well. Now, the problem with this blue-green algae is it's very toxic. It actually will make people sick. A lot of people have complained 2 years ago when they had the real bad occurrences of it, of just going near the water and getting headaches from it and feeling nauseous. There were reports 2 years ago of a church group that came down to Florida and put on a concert, and one of the either singers or guitar players went swimming and got infected by the algae and had to have his leg amputated. It kills fishes. It's very nasty stuff. Now, with my allergies, I can't smell, so hopefully it's not going to affect me. And this year, it has been a low occurrence of it, not like 2 years ago with all the news stories. So we'll probably see like a green haze, but I don't know how bad it's going to be. But I need to actually check this out for myself. So we'll see what it actually looks like. Now, they're saying the algae is caused by the discharges from Lake Okeechobee into the river. Now, they've been contemplating and going back and forth about that for years now. The Army Corps of Engineers that built the dike has said that it's not being caused by that. Local residents say it is. It was also on the news recently that part of the reason of this blue-green algae may be from the chemicals found in the Roundup weed killer. And they do use a lot of weed killer down here because of the fact of so many businesses and buildings. So I don't know if it's actually caused by that or not. Just telling you a little bit on the news, but I know my mother-in-law, she said 2 years ago when it was down here, it was really bad. You couldn't even get near the water. It just stunk so bad and was causing people problems. But we're almost to the causeway. We're going to check it out. See if it's affecting where I go fishing, and then I'm going to go to Jensen Beach, which is the northernmost part of the beach, which is on the list because it actually comes out of the river in Stewart, so it's affecting Bathtub Beach and Stewart Beach, which are really close to each other, and then also comes up to the Jensen Beach, which is the most northern part. Now, before I leave Florida, I had planned on taking my dog to the beach one more time because he likes to run on the beach, even though I don't let him in the water. But with this algae, that is not going to be happening. So I just want to check it out for myself, and we'll see what we find when I get there. Okay, so I just checked out the causeway and I didn't see any algae at all. Matter of fact, the water actually looks a little bit cleaner than what I'm used to seeing it since the hurricane. There are a bunch of people out fishing out on the walkway under the bridge, and there's a lot of bait fish in the water, and they're actually catching some blues, some snappers, ladyfish, and a couple guys just caught a couple Spanish mackerel. So I don't know, may go fishing tonight, may go fishing over this weekend or Monday, we'll see. But I'm heading over to the beach area that they just closed to swimmers now to check out what that looks like. But causeway looks fine. Don't see any algae in the water, and there's a lot of fish swimming around and a lot of people catching fish and fishing here still, so we'll see. Okay, so we're at Jensen Beach, and they do have the flag up that says no swimming, so we'll see if we can see anything. Okay, apologize for the wind, but the lifeguard just came up to me, and he's going up to everybody, make sure that nobody goes in the water. You really can't see the algae is what he's saying, but they're having like little flakes and pieces of it float up in the water, so that's why they close the water so that you can't go in it. But I'll show you around, and yeah, there's hardly anybody on the beach for this time of year. So down there you can see the lifeguard still talking to people and letting them know do not go in the water. But yeah, I mean, for this time of the year there's absolutely hardly anybody out here. Now there's people in the water down there, however that's the unguarded section where the lifeguards are not, so they're not going to go down there and tell you not to go in the water, and at that point on the unguarded section you're pretty much on your own at your own risk anyway. So okay, so this is at Bathtub Beach, and as you can see over there, that is all where the coral comes in, and it's actually the natural reef. This is the area that I used to go snorkeling at. It's a popular place for us snorkelers because it only gets about waist deep, and then as you go down that way there's a break in the coral that actually is a little bit deeper, and you can get onto the other side of the coral. Okay, so I'm actually on the St. Lucie River right now. This is a little kind of like channel outlet part. It's not part of the main river, but it's a channel that runs off the river. But let me show you something. So you see all that green down there floating in the water? Those are the toxic green algae plumes that they're talking about. The stuff that's really nasty, kills the fishes, stuff that you just don't want to get all over you. That's actually what they're talking about. And actually, right now, this is actually not that bad. It's been a lot worse, but you can just see it in the river. Alright, so I just crossed over to the other side. I can't go walking up through there because that's all private property, but just want to show you up along the banks there. So yeah, it looks really disgusting now, but 2 years ago it was actually a lot worse than this. And it actually can get totally worse than this. You actually see the thick globs, kind of like jelly on the top, but you can see it all floating in the river down there. So that's actually what they're talking about. And here's another shot of it here. And as you can see, they're starting to get some of that bluish up through there. Oops, lost the focus. But you can see you're starting to get some of that bluish, which is really the real thick stuff starting to settle in. That's the nasty stuff that they're talking about. And you can see it goes all the way up underneath that boardwalk where this guy's boat is parked. That's all that blue-green algae that they're talking about, and the reason why they closed the beaches today. So